Welcome to Spider-Verse Minute, the tri-weekly podcast where we watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 1 minute at a time. I'm Sean Slater.
And I'm his sister Caroline.
And today we begin the final minute, minute 117, which opens with Miguel activating the device and ending 48 seconds later with a black screen.
I have titled this minute, The Pointing.
Yes, this minute we get the recreation of the pointing Spider-Man meme.
My favorite Spider-Man meme, to be honest.
It's a pretty good one. I do enjoy all the variations of it.
I do love how this minute kind of begins. So we talked about how Miles says, okay, one last time. For real this time. But Miguel says, from the beginning, one last time.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, hey!
Twisting it up. Now we have to go through all the other variations of Spider-Man, get Spider-Man.
It's going to be so many comics. It's going to be great.
Earth 67 Spider-Man. We need to get the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man.
The sequel is just going to be comics of everybody's backstory.
Yeah. We get him teleporting into the pointing Spider-Man and then recreating that pointy bit and the weird jumpy uppy downy bit they do. And
I love how they hand animated the portal.
Yeah.
To still be sort of made of all of the orbs.
Yeah, and it's just a static image. It's great.
I love it so much. I'm like, you know what? They kept it within the universe of the animated Spider-Man, and I appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
I love when places do like that. They're going for either a specific style or something, and a good example of this is the Timmy Jimmy Power Hour, if anyone remembers that from Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
When they had to change animation styles for these guys, and they went hard with it. They're like, nah, we're doing all of everyone's animations changed when they go to the other universes. And I love it so much.
Yeah. Yeah, it is fun to see those.
The funniest part about this whole pointing meme, besides the fact that it's the pointing meme, is the fact that the argument, before Miguel could even say what he was there for, they just delve into arguing about pointing.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So good.
Yeah, it is a good last minute. A good final gag for the movie.
Great gag to end on.
That was, all the thoughts I have on this minute. Do you want to just kind of sum up all of your thoughts for the movie as a whole?
I'm probably going to watch the movie later today.
Yeah, I know I'm going to go back and watch it again.
Every time we get done with one of these sessions, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. But I'm like, I kind of want to watch the movie again. I guess that just goes to say how much I love this movie, and also just how good this movie is. The fact that even after analyzing it minute by minute, I still want to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Really, this is a movie that I can see in the future it's going to be considered a classic.
Oh, definitely.
I would be shocked if it isn't. It's just such a good movie.
Yeah, kind of. I agree with everything you said. It's easily one of my favorite movies of all time. With just the animation style, and even if the story isn't a super unique archetype of a story, I still just love the characters and enjoy going through the story.
Yeah, it's an archetype for a reason. It's because it's good arc.
Yeah.
They're tropes for reasons. And one of the things that I could see kind of dating it but also not at the same time is the more modern references to the memes and those kinds of jokes is they do it in such a way that they're still funny even if you don't get the fact that it's referencing a meme.
Yeah.
It's just a funny moment.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't feel we talk about that enough, and I always appreciate things that can kind of do that sort of thing. Well, this is referencing something of the time, but it's still funny. So even if you don't get the reference, it's still good.
Yeah, so I think the final thing I just want to talk about before we end this season is what you want in the sequel. Currently, there is a sequel announced for 2022, whether that's going to happen then, whether it gets pushed back to 2023. We don't have anything more than a year as of now.
Yeah.
And just kind of what do you want to see happen in this sequel? or in any sequel.
This is a tough one because they set up two pretty good, like, sequel setups, both at the end of the movie before the credits and at the end credits scene.
Yeah.
So, personally, I think I would love to see either a way for them to kind of, like, intertwine the two, or even just sort of a way to be like, you know what? We've hinted at this thing, but we're gonna hold off on it. Almost sort of like how Marvel did with the extended universes.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't really a major plot of some movies until it got to a certain movie. So I could see them kind of doing something like this, where they kind of keep referencing back to it, but it's not a major plot point. I think it's a little risky to do, but I could see them doing it.
Yeah, I hope that the, like, Miguel stuff would tie into the next movie, instead of, like, trying to pull a Thanos thing and have him tie in at the, 5th movie or something.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where they go, like why Miguel is wanting to travel around, whether it's just him wanting to do this because it's cool, or if there's a reason he's doing it. It would be interesting to see if they bring in the more of the original Spider-Verse storyline, where they were being, like, hunted by the Inheritors, which, like, fed off of the different spider people.
Oh, that could be really interesting.
Yeah, that might get a bit too...
Dark?
Not weird. Yeah, dark, I guess, for it. Whereas this was a pretty... not nearly as dark as, like...
Yeah, like, they handled some dark things, but they didn't go super dark.
Yeah, they didn't have the life force getting sucked out of the different spider people.
You know.
I would love to see 1.5 specific things I would want to see. I would really love to see Gwen go through, and they could probably do a cool arc with it, maybe, is have Gwen go through the Gwenom story arc where she gets the Venom symbiote, like, attaches to her, and, like, go through that. Is really cool, partly just because I love that outfit, or the suit is so cool looking, and anything with more Gwen is a plus for me. And then the other kind of story that I would love to see is the Spider-Woman, the Spider-Women crossover arc that they did with Gwen, Silk, and Spider-Woman, so Jessica Drew, Cindy Moon, and Gwen Stacy, where, like, it starts out with just Jessica and Cindy, like, coming over to Gwen's universe just for, like, a lunch date, like, okay, we're just having lunch, and then some bad stuff goes down, so, like, I don't know if they could necessarily do that for this next one, but it would be cool if they, introduced, like, if they get introduced in the second movie and then they turn that into, like, a spin-off movie or something where they have the various Spider-Women coming together and just, start out with them, like, just having fun together. Or, like, if they just do that in the next movie, is it's just all of them coming together for, like, a picnic or something.
That'd be funny.
I would love that.
I think for me, the big thing I don't really have, like, a plot in mind, because I think it could be really interesting what they could do plot-wise, but I think for me, the big things I want to see in a sequel are some returning spider people. So Miles, obviously, Gwen, and, like, I think Spider-Noir would probably be the 3 I would want to come back. And then more spider people, like, some from different universe. Even, like, maybe, like, another version of Miles or something. That might be too much. But, like, or even just some of the more obscure spider people from the comics.
Yeah, I would love to see, I think the one I would like to really see would be Spider-Girl being Peter and MJ's, like, daughter.
Ooh, that
and have them cool. Come in that way. And it would be a cool way to do, like, to have her come in, or just, like, have that, like, maybe something happens to Peter and then she has to come and get, like, Miles and Gwen, although that would require a bit of a time skip.
Yeah.
Or just have some funky time stuff where, like, his universe goes through time at a different rate.
Do you think you would want the sequel to be, like, immediately after this one, like, picking up where we heard Gwen's voice, or do you think it would want to be time skipped a bit to the future and then just kind of filled in on, like, well, they've been doing this dimension jump thing for a while?
I wouldn't mind it if it followed, like, real world time, and so have it set 4 years after the original movie if it comes out in 2022.
If it does.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years, and then have Miles be, somewhere in high school, Gwen in her, in college like she is in the comics, and then just have everybody a little bit older and And then you could introduce like Spider-Man or like Peter B. Parker's daughter and have her be 4 or 5 and like have Miles and Gwen have to babysit her or something.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cute.
Or have like, him with Peter B with her on his back as he's like, taking her to daycare or something as he's swinging through the city.
Like, okay, honey, I gotta go to work.
I'm excited to see whatever they do going forward.
I'm really excited to see what they do.
Yeah, assuming they bring on the same, writers and directors.
I hope, like, they did such a good job with this one. I think they would.
Yeah.
I could see them maybe bringing some different creative people to get some new things, but I hope they don't. I don't know. Sequels I'm always a little nervous about, even if I loved the first movie, because it's like, it could end up fantastic, it could end up terrible.
Yeah, very rarely are the sequels better than the originals. Yeah, do you have any other thoughts for the movie as a whole?
I love this movie. That is all.
Yeah, I have to agree with that sentiment. There obviously will be no next week because the movie is over. So we will be waiting till the sequel comes out, and then when that comes out, we will pick that up then once that movie comes out and continue on with a sequel or a spin-off if they do one or whatever.
We're going to do all of the Spider-Verse movies.
Yes.
Thank you all for listening. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can find us on Twitter at SpiderVerseMin, M-I-N. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at SpiderVerseMinute. And if you'd like, you can email us at podcast@spiderverseminute.com. Thanks for listening.
Bye.